All right, well, we kind of moved everything up a day. So today was a little bit like a Thursday practice, plus a little bit more, some mistakes that we'd made, some things that we needed to cover. But just want to use these 2 days in Shells to try to get the players sort of recovered a little bit. We had 2 days off before, after camp, and I thought they responded, with pretty good intensity today. I think everybody's looking forward to playing a game and not practicing against each other. It's been a long time, and it's much better to learn your lessons, before relative to mistakes than it is after. So, hopefully our guys are preparing and doing the right things that they need to do to play their best football, in this particular game. And I think the things that are important to that right now is, mental practice, going over the things that you're going to do, because the physical practice is going to be limited, and you can accomplish a significant amount if you do a good job of mental practice. That's reviewing what you do. There was a study once, you can improve as much making foul shots without shooting the ball, just standing there going like this, as you can shooting the ball. That's mental practice. So that's what we need to do, and we need to rest. Guys need to rest, take care of themselves, and get ready to play. But, it's interesting to, I hear all this about everywhere I go about talent. I get asked questions in here about how much talent we have. Talent is really what you're capable of doing. Your motivation is what you do, and your attitude is how you do it. So regardless of talent, that's just part of the equation. There's a lot of other questions that have to be answered about, what people's motivation really is, what their commitment is, what their attitude is, which is going to determine to a large degree, how they do it on a consistent basis. And it's not going to get determined by, one game. It's, takes a long season. It's a long tough mountain to climb, and that's what we have to look forward to. Mark is doing extremely well. Didn't have a lot of swelling, which is a good sign, and that has a lot to do with how quickly he can come back. Nobody knows how quickly he can come back, so don't ask me. He's out this week, and we'll take it week to week. Sometimes these guys get over these things very quickly when it's, cartilage type stuff, and we just have to see. But we're going to, whatever decision we make about it, it's going to be with his best interest in mind, and his future. So, and the only other guy that is out for this game is Wesley Neighbors, which you already have that information, and he'll probably be working his way back soon as well.
Hate to assume, so I'm going to ask, but if you don't hear by Saturday, 6 o'clock on Darius, he's not going to play, correct?
Well, I haven't made that decision yet.
Okay.
It's another one of those hypothetical situations that if that circumstance does come up, we'll make that decision when we have to make it. I'm very hopeful that we'll have a decision by then.
But you have a plan B by then as well.
We have a plan B now.
Okay. Can you talk about the plan B?
In terms of what? We have players prepared to play in his role, where they've practiced it, and that's plan B.
Coach, yesterday a lot of the players fielded questions about Mark Ingram naturally. And one of the guys told us that even after having his surgery, that he was in meetings that afternoon, and that he didn't want anybody to feel sorry for him, that his demeanor was great. I just wonder if you'd speak to his character. He's been through so much, but that really struck me.
Right. Well, my emphasis in the meeting was that the players need to support Mark. Mark's greatest concern was how he could support the players when I talked to him. So, he was in the meetings, yesterday afternoon, and he's been here, but he hadn't been on the field because we're try to keep him off his leg so he doesn't get the swelling, and has been really, working hard on the treatment. But Mark had a great camp because of his character. He's done a great job, I think, of setting a great example for a lot of our younger players in terms of, his work ethic, his character, how he manages his situation, and continues to try to strive to be better. And, it's unfortunate because he had a great camp and was actually playing better than he ever played last year. And I'm sure he'll get back to that very quickly when we get him back on the field. But, it's really good when the good players on your team, the really good players on your team are good guys. That always helps in terms of coaching a team.
I just wonder if you knew any specifics on Daquan's rehab from the ankle and how difficult it is for a DB to come back from an ankle Achilles tear.
Well, I've never had one before, so I don't know how difficult it is. I know he's done a really good job and practiced and been able to run. And, sometimes I think he gets a little fatigued most of the time toward the end of practice because he was not able to condition himself like everyone else in preparation, for the season. I think the last 2 weeks of, summer conditioning is the only real running that he did. It's the only simulated training that he did. I'm talking about backpedaling, change of direction, that type of stuff. So, it's going to be an ongoing process for him to get a little better each day and get in a little better condition each day. But we monitor his reps, and he has been able to rep through practice for as many plays as that he would play in a game. We haven't. He's a very good special teams player, but we'll not use him on special teams, right now. And we may have to manage his role in the game a little bit early on to seeing how he does.
Coach, your first game in Alabama was in this stadium. It's the only season opener you've played until this week in Tuscaloosa. I know you're not really built this way, but do you ever stop and look around and see how far this program's come in that time since your first game and, now preseason #1, national championship, all that?
Well, the preseason #1 doesn't mean anything. What's been accomplished in the past is something that one day when I'm sitting on the log, I'll probably think about it a little bit. But, right now I was told a long time ago, as a competitor and as a player in sports, you're only good as your last play and you're only as good as your last game. So, our focus has been on trying to continue to develop this team to be as good as they can be. I can say this, that I think the program that we have, I wish somebody could take and rank programs, rather than doing a preseason poll on who's supposed to have the best team, which is all from last year, really not much from this year. I really would like to take the personal development programs that we have, the academic programs that we have, the career development programs that we have for our players, and also how we've developed players as football players, and take all those things and say, okay, let's rank the schools that do the best job in all these areas for their players. Who invest in their players' future so that they can be more successful in life. And I'd be real proud of that ranking if we could rank up there, in that, because that's really what the program is about. I mean, it really is. It's college football. I know it's entertainment. I know the big business part of it, but for the players, that's what the most important thing to them.
Coach, can you talk about what you've seen from William Vallejos and also how he's improved since last year?
Right. Well, William was a very good player for us last year, did an outstanding job. He's smart, he's strong, he plays with really good leverage, makes all the line calls, does a great job of preparing himself every week. He missed a little time in the spring because of his foot injury, but did not skip a beat when he came back. And I think his knowledge, experience, strength, power, all those areas have just gotten a little bit better because of the kind of competitor he is. You talk about a guy that's got pride in performance now and tries to do everything that he does the right way. I mean, when we talked about talent, motivation, and attitude, there's no question about this guy's motivation and attitude about how he goes about what he does and the result that he gets.
Coach, can you add to on Vallejos how important it is to, when he comes to the line, to recognize everything and get the offensive line into their blocking schemes and everything?
Right. Well, I think, you know, offensive line technically probably is one of the most difficult positions from a knowledge standpoint to be able to play. So to have guys like Vallejos and Barrett Jones, you know, Mike Johnson last year, that are really, really smart and have great understanding and make line calls, and they make it a lot easier for the other guys to play. And I know Barrett makes it a lot better for the right tackle. I know William makes it a lot better for the left side of our line by making all the line calls, so those guys feel more comfortable and confident and all that. Now, you know, when it's a difficult preparation like this, because you don't know for sure what you're going to see, I think it's really important to have guys like that too, because they can sort of pull from their resource of information, knowledge, experience, whatever you want to call it, when we're going to have to make some game time adjustments. They'll be able to recognize and do those things, and I think that's when it's probably most important.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.